Hey everyone, welcome! In today's video, we're going to look at the history of Western art. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you won't miss the informative videos we will upload in the future. In this video, we will discuss the history of Western art in all eras. So let's get started. Firstly, what is Western art? The history of Western art has undergone many changes. Western artwork records have undergone a plethora of adjustments, ensuring a very diverse variety of techniques, patterns, and mediums. Art has a lengthy meditated societal context and modifications, becoming a crucial indicator of cultural and socio-political climates at their instance. Below is a comprehensive list of the 30 artwork movements in Western artwork history, context and reasons behind them, and their most vital artists. It would be beneficial to provide a brief explanation of what defines an art and what actually the Western art is. Now, we will look at the historical movement of Western art. Historical artwork movements. Classical Greek artwork, 510 to 323 BC. Do you know how Greek initiated their artwork? Classical Greek art flourished at some stage in a length of heightened intellectualism, literature, philosophy, and architecture. Centered on naturalism and the idealism of the human body in painting, marble sculpture, and architectural ornamentation. It has been diagnosed as one of the most influential intervals in Western records, placing the level for lots of aspects of contemporary art. Fantastic artists of the Greek era were Phidias, Myron, Praxiteles, and Polycleides. Second is medieval era's art. Medieval art, 500 to 1400. Medieval generation artwork encompassed various durations and patterns, such as Byzantine, Viking, Anglo-Saxon, Romanesque, and Gothic. Extensively speaker, Western medieval art focused at the introduction of Christianity into mainstream EU culture. Its most well-known examples can be seen in church architecture and decoration, spanning in the course of Europe and the Near East. Exquisite artists, Duccio, Cimabue, Ambrogio Lorenzetti, Giotto, and Jan van Eyck. Renaissance art, 1400 to 1600. The European Renaissance duration became an inventive and cultural rebirth that commenced in Italy and accelerated into the relaxation of Europe. It turned into a divergence from the precedent Gothic and medieval styles, and wanted the humanism of historic Greco-Roman artwork and tradition. This period saw the rejuvenation of intellectualism, philosophy, and the classical fashion, yielding a number of the maximum artwork and architectural masterpieces thus far. Amazing artists Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Masaccio, and Giovanni Bellini. Mannerism, 1520 to 1620. Mannerism became a period that followed the apex of the excessive Renaissance. It changed into exceedingly innovative, focusing on the expression of ideas through severe, every now and then fantastical imagery. These radical factors manifested as dramatic eventualities, asymmetry, and a movement away from the artistic ideal. High-quality artists, Parmigianino, Bronzino, El Greco, and Paolo Veronese. Baroque, 1600 to 1750. Baroque artwork originated in Rome within the 17th century with a sturdy cognizance on Catholic revival and later spread across Europe. Unlike Mannerist artwork, Baroque artwork was centered around intricately rendered realism with a robust emotional appeal towards faith. But now not all Baroque artwork was spiritual. Its hyperrealism became also present and nevertheless life's completed all throughout the time. Outstanding artists Peter Paul Rubens, Anthony van Dyck, Rembrandt, and Lorenzo Bernini. Rococo, 1780. The Rococo duration, now and again also referred to as late Baroque, focused on decorative ornamentation in a divergence from the early Baroque. It favored topics and iconography of fantasy and lush sensuality. The movement became characterized through a culmination of small curved brushstrokes, from which the call rococo derived as a translation of the French racially or choral. Extraordinary artists Jean-Antoine Watteau, Jean-Honor Fragonard, Francois Boucher, and Giovanni Battista Tiepolo. Neoclassicism, 1750 to 1850. Neoclassicism changed into a second resurgence of classicism in art during the 18th century, after the invention of the historical city of Pompeii in Italy. The length noticed a dramatic growth in Greco-Roman mythological concern to pens and portrait, classical fashion sculpture, and historical temple fashion architecture. It also imposed historic Greco-Roman idealized aesthetics in artwork. Excellent artists Jacques-Louis David, Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, Jean-Baptiste Debray, William Adolphe Bouguereau. Romanticism, 1780 to 1830. Romanticism moved far from the sober idealism of Neoclassicism and in the direction of the expression of emotions in artwork. It celebrated the instinct of the artist, favoring innovative and every so often dramatized representations. This era also noticed a growth of landscape imagery. Outstanding artists Eugene Delacroix, J.M.W. Turner, William Blake, and Francisco Goya. Realism. Realism changed into a movement originating inside the mid-19th century that preferred inventive depiction with a close to photographic level of accuracy. As a reaction to the dramatized art durations preceding it, realism zeroed in on greater mundane normal topics. These subjects have been then depicted with emphasized authenticity as dissension from preceding artistic idealization. Incredible artists Gustave Courbet, Jean-Francois Millet, Edward Hopper, and Edouard Manet. Impressionism, 1865 to 85. Impressionism was an art motion that evolved in the mid-19th century France. It centered around the depiction of landscapes and outdoor imagery in a spontaneous fashion, in preference to developing portions based on preliminary sketches and detailed studies. It additionally moved away from sensible depictions, focusing as an alternative on the effect or a well-known effect of the sunlight on outside topics. Exquisite artists Claude Monet, Edgar Degas, Camille Pissarro, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Paul Cézanne, and Mary Cassatt. Neo-impressionism, 1884 to 1935. Neo-impressionism, also sometimes referred to as pointillism, although it is distinct from it, turned into a movement following the Impressionist that consists of the software of small color dots. Not like its predecessor, Neo-impressionism did not recognize on the spontaneity of landscape portrait. Rather, it employed a systematic, clinical approach and luminous color. Fantastic artists Georges Seurat, Paul Signac, Camille Pissarro, and Henry Edmond Pass. Artwork Nouveau, 1890 to 1910. Artwork Nouveau, on occasion known as Jugendstil, Session Still, or the Glasgow style, emerged in the 1980s. It focused on the modernization of decorative ornamentation in a variety of mediums, together with painting, sculpture, structure, and graphic arts. It additionally manifested in the abstraction of organic paperwork and asymmetric geometric shapes. Splendid artists Gustave Klimt, Antoni Gaudí, Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, and Aubrey Beardsley. Post-Impressionism, 1885 to 1910. Submit Impressionism changed into a reactionary motion in opposition to the naturalistic depictions of Impressionism. In preference to depict landscapes based on light and realism, published Impressionisms centered on emotional evocation and expression in art. Even as their work became stylistically wide, Miles characterized formidable colors, spatial abstraction, and unblended brushstrokes. Excellent artists Vincent van Gogh, Paul Cézanne, Paul Gauguin, and Edward Munch. So guys, that was all about today's video. This script actually covers Western art until the early 20th century. Hope you guys liked this video. Feel free to share any helpful information. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel to stay updated with our latest content. See you soon!